me say something plainly that might confront you a little bit. Honey, you are not exhausted because life is impossible. You're not exhausted because you are a mother. You are exhausted because your life is out of order. And order matters to God. You see, the same God who created the heavens and the earth, he did not build the universe in chaos. He built it in sequence. He built it with rhythm. He built it with structure. And when human beings live out of order, they feel the consequences of that disorder in their mind, in their body, and in their spirit, and even in their energy. I want to ask you an honest question before we go any further, and I want you to answer it truthfully in your own heart. When you wake up in the morning, who gets your best attention? Who gets your first attention? Is it God or is it your phone? Is it prayer or is it your emails? Is it quiet reflection or is it scrolling through everybody else's life? Because most women wake up and immediately begin bleeding their energy into things that have absolutely nothing to do with their assignment. And then by the time they think about God, by the time they even think about their health and their fitness, by the time they even think about having discipline, they are already drained. And they tell themselves that silly little lie that they just don't have the energy. No, sis. You had the energy, but you spent it before you invested it. I actually had to learn this the hard way. And I want to tell you this quick story because it actually changed the way that I live my own life. There was a time when my mornings looked like everyone else's. I would wake up and immediately start responding to things, start responding to clients' messages and responsibilities and children and tasks. And then I noticed something very disturbing. By the time I thought about praying, I was already distracted. And by the time I thought about working out, I already felt tired. And by the time I even thought about my own priorities, the day already belonged to everybody else. And then I remember thinking to myself, something is not right here. Not morally, racially wrong, because my life was out of order. And once I saw it, I actually could not unsee it. The truth is, energy is finite. And God did not design the human body to pour endlessly without first being filled. And that is why the order that works in my life is very simple and it is very intentional. God first, my body second. Everything else comes after that. It's that simple. When I wake up, I do not immediately give the world access to me, not even my children. I give my attention to God because God centers me. He quiets my mind and he reminds me that I am not the source of everything. Then I move my body because movement changes my entire internal state. It makes me happy. It makes me patient. And my clarity is different. My mood is uplifted. You see, when my body is activated, my mind is sharper and my spirit just feels more settled. And once those two things are in place, then and only then do I start engaging with the rest of the world, and that includes my children. But here's where many women struggle, and I'm just going to say this very directly because somebody out there needs to hear it. Boundaries are not selfish. Boundaries are good stewardship. If God entrusted you with a body, a mind, and a calling, and a family, then protecting the vessel that carries those things is not arrogance, it's not selfish, it is your responsibility. I have rules for my mornings, and I do not apologize for them. I am not available in the morning. I do not answer messages before my workout. I do not start my day reacting to other people's demands. That time belongs to God, and it belongs to the stewardship of my body. And when you decide that ahead of time, something powerful happens. You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop making emotional decisions. You stop letting urgency from other people control the direction of your life. Let me ask you another honest question. If everyone has immediate access to you, when exactly do you have access to yourself? Because this is where many women are quietly suffering. They are constantly giving, constantly responding, constantly solving problems, constantly available, and yet they feel depleted. They feel resentful. They feel disconnected from their own priorities. And guess what? That is not what stewardship looks like. Even Jesus withdrew from crowds to pray. Even Jesus stepped away to restore himself. Jesus did not give unlimited access to everyone who wanted something from him. And if the Son of God, who is God himself, did not live with unlimited access, why do you think you should? Another thing I see women struggling with is over-explaining these boundaries. I mean, somehow you feel like you owe people a speech. You feel like you need to soften the truth so that no one gets offended or feels uncomfortable. But honey, your boundaries are not up for debate. Your boundaries are decisions. I'm not available in the morning. I don't respond to messages before my workout. That time is protected, and that is enough. People who benefit from unlimited access to you will not always celebrate when you create these limits, so get ready. And that does not mean that you are wrong. It simply means that those same people were used to the old version of you. Now, let me say something very encouraging to you right now because I know how many women feel when they start changing these patterns. When you give from depletion, you eventually become resentful. And when you give from overflow, service stays joyful. I'm a better wife, a better mother, a better coach, a better leader when my life is ordered. Not when I'm exhausted, not when I'm scattered, not when my mornings are chaos. My mornings belong to God. Order protects energy, and energy fuels assignment. So if you have been wondering why you feel constantly drained, constantly distracted, constantly behind, it might not be because your life is impossible. It might be because your life is out of order. But here's the good news. Order can be restored. Discipline can be built, and energy can return when stewardship returns. And that is exactly why I created the Fit on Purpose devotional, trained, disciplined, and delivered. This devotional was written for women who are ready to stop living randomly and start living intentionally before God. You see, it walks you through the spiritual and practical discipline required to steward your body, your mind, and your life with purpose. Now, if this episode confronted you just a little bit, that is a good thing because conviction is often the beginning of transformation. You can get the devotional right now at fitonpurposetraining.com/ebook and start building the kind of discipline that produces clarity, strength, and peace. And if you know deep down that you need structure, accountability, and real strategy to restore order in health and in fitness in your life, then you can apply for coaching at fitonpurposetraining.com because transformation does not happen by accident. It happens when order replaces chaos and discipline replaces excuses. And once that shift happens, everything about your life begins to change. Don't forget, share this with another woman who you know needs it. Make sure you subscribe for more content like this. I love you with the love of the Lord. God bless you, and I will see you next time.